Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Oh god, we have the BaseTradeTV mod on. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
What happened?
So whenever the BaseTradeTV mod's on, for those who don't know, like, the hotkey to pull up all those cool graphs and everything else is like using the numpad. Those are the same hotkeys that I use to switch to StarCraft and like to other scenes in StarCraft. So I'm like, oh god, not again. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, spun down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Game number 1 in this best of 3 from the round of 8. We have the red Protoss player from Team Liquid. It's MaNa.
In the top left as the Teal Terran, he is Healer. You know Healer, right, Fear Dragon?
I have definitely seen Healer around. I've seen you guys cast him, and
yeah.
I'm like, he's like one of those players that I'm vaguely aware of. I'm like, he's a decent player. I've seen him win things.
I think that's a lot of people's impression, unless they're like, you know, like true BaseTradeTV watchers or whatever you want to say.
Oh, okay, I see. So I'm not a true BaseTradeTV watcher.
Not sitting at work, kind of listening to like the round of 4. Anyway, so to give a little bit more specific overview of Healer, he is a sub to the channel, which makes it awesome. So occasionally he'll just be around and talking, which is really cool. He is actually a very good player. He not only does a very odd style now and then, like Mech versus Protoss or Mech versus Zerg, which, you know, is odd in Legacy of the Void. Oh, grenade. But he'll also actually have really decent games, to be honest, with just regular styles. Oh, so we actually saw him get a farther than we anticipated against Protoss, I believe, because at one point his TvP was probably his best, I would say. And I'm hoping to see that Healer today, but he actually is really good. He did get to the round of 8 in one of, I think, the easier brackets, if we're going to be like completely honest here. He beat some guy named Tyrell and some guy named Minx. But I'm hoping he can at least show... I don't think he'll take a game away from MaNa, especially if MaNa's, I don't know, well-practiced. But I hope to see actually like, really, really good games, at the very least. Or fun games, because like I said, he does some weird stuff sometimes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he's managed to beat Minx, he's already way ahead of Jimmy Raynor, because that took him, like, 5 years to do.
I get it. It's campaign humor.
Well, Reaper does get picked off by the Adept, and that Reaper was already pretty effective. I'm actually kind of weirded out also by MaNa's placement of this Robo. Like, it's kind of creating a wall off over at the main base ramp. It's not a huge deal. It's not like, oh man, what is he planning to do? But I always get a little bit weirded out when I see Protoss players start to create wall offs at their main base to natural against a Terran player, because you're always worried about like drop potential.
Yeah, if I'm gonna drop that base, suddenly that Robo looks mighty fine, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking about this when I was playing Protoss yesterday. I was like, or we were casting something, I forget. But I was like, why put the Twilight Counts out in the front? Like, that's really important stuff. But like, the Cybernetic Score's always in front, and that's pretty important. People think that all the time.
Yeah, but Cybernetic Score doesn't cost gas to remake. It's like,
true.
You can still get around without having that out, and it doesn't take a lot of time to remake.
That is a good point. Well, game's a little more underway now, so drop versus drop, obviously the more Marines win, but it's nice that they both scouted it. If Healer was halfway across the map, it would have been very awkward. He wouldn't have a lot of reinforcements, and he just would have been, well, losing a lot of SCVs, especially with the natural being attacked too.
Yeah, has only managed to actually kill off 1 worker so far, though, so I've got to say Healer's doing a really, really solid job of this so far. Even though he's losing mining time, which kind of sucks, he's not really losing the workers themselves.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he can't deal with the War Prism, so he really is at a bit of a conundrum without a lot of units, where he can't really take back the natural, because then that's when MaNa's War Prism goes in. So he's waiting for the Cyclone, he's waiting for Liberators, there we go. Liberators will not get the War Prism very easily, but at least there's 2 of them, so like, it's actually a little scary.
I actually think they are going to be able to get him, because he's not going to be able to retreat back anywhere. He's not using the War Prism to warp in Stalkers or anything and try and push them back. At the same time, though, MaNa is coming in with more Adepts to the natural, gonna be able to pick off a couple more workers, and just, I would say, has gotten to the point where, yeah, he hasn't killed an absurd number of units or workers, but he's just denied mining from that natural for almost a solid 2 minutes now.
And that's why we have the income graphs.
Woo.
As you can see, MaNa is really spiking up there, so that's just denial on mining. I mean, the worker count's actually similar, which is not usually ideal, right? Terran has mules to also account for, but with all the denied mining, it actually looks pretty good. Now, the Liberators had to go quite a ways to kill that War Prism, but they did eventually get it, and that's just, you know, a lot of pressure off the Terran. It's also not going to be added into this push. MaNa, well, it's you know, without any upgrades. There's no stim, there's not any combat shields, there's not +1, but it is a lot of very good units, especially if they get into a good position, like Liberators and tanks. Oh, nice snipe on that tank, though.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely hurt the pushing power of Healer's army right now. Healer, though, has these 2 medevacs, and I'm just saying, Zombie we were talking about that Robo. Look at that position now. Can you imagine dropping just on the north side of that Robo in these gateways? And it is just gonna be absolute hell, I think, for MaNa to actually get into a good spot to defend that, besides photon overcharges.
Yeah, I mean, I would be so much more scared, though, if Stim was done. Actually, Healer just backs off from the potential aggression because MaNa's army was just too big. He didn't catch MaNa trying to get a third base on the back of War Prism aggression. He caught MaNa getting ready to, like, you know, further pressure him, basically, with that War Prism. Of course, without the War Prism, it's a little easier still.
Oh my god.
So, that was worse sniping the Liberators.
Every single Liberator goes down, and oh boy, that hurts for Healer. He still does have the siege tanks alive, but even I think one of the siege tanks is actually for... Wait, what's low on health over here? There's like a low health bar somewhere.
Oh, the supply depot's on.
Oh, I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, that doesn't look right. Yeah. All right, so that was still worth losing the 2 stalkers, I think it was, to get 2 Liberators, 2 or 3 stalkers. Just because, you know, the medevac count isn't really high, so making them choose between either or is still a very, like, difficult decision. And either one could actually get them killed, either lack of one. And now MaNa, he has a contain, and didn't need a War Prism to do this. So now he's getting a third base. But at a very appropriate time, not a very greedy time at all. And Healer... You know, he sacrificed good upgrades for a long time to do a push that was meant to do more damage. And now he has to make up for it.
Yeah, Healer gonna take a bit of a risk right now and say, you know what, I think that I can maybe try and get this defense up. Just since I have so many siege tanks starting to come out right now, maybe I can sacrifice some of my units and put them on the outside of the map, deny a third, or pull my opponent back that way. But he's really relying on the fact that MaNa is not going to be pushing it anytime in the next minute. And I think it's actually going to pay off because most of MaNa's army has already retreated back home.
Yeah. Yeah, MaNa playing a very good PvT right now. Has a lot of things just prepared, basically. I mean, honestly, PvT can probably be cast a little bit blind, but you hope to at least catch them a little off guard with quadruple drops or a Liberator in the natural with this double drop. With only the double drop, this can't do that much damage. Well, and that's unfortunate for Healer.
Photon Overcharge is going to go down. The double Photon Overcharge is going to be able to clean up a good chunk of this army. And looks like with the medevac was getting focus fire down a bit, but I think Healer at least trades out okay versus the army.
Yeah,
not so much anymore.
He does have an army supply lead now, though. He's just, he's been producing nonstop. He didn't try and get a third base or double upgrades or anything like that. Unlike MaNa, but oh my god. Okay, well, that happened.
I mean, I could try and hype up this fight, guys, but at this point, MaNa just went from a pretty solid army lead to, oh god, like, how is he gonna win this, or how is he gonna lose this?
Yeah. Good snipe on that sentry made it a little bit more of a trade, but now the Disruptor's going to be off cooldown again, and whether it hits the tanks to lower them a little or hits the Marines like they would want, either way it's going to be a good fight. And actually doesn't even use the Disruptor, just goes in with the Adepts and the Immortals, and that's going to be it for Healer.
Yeah, loses the medevac that had any semblance of units left over, a couple of Adepts on the other side of the map, killing off the reinforcements that are popping out as well as some of the workers. And, I mean, Healer's struggling to deal with just a little bit of Adept harassment. What's he going to do when the entire main army charges in?
Hope the god tanks cover him. These 3 tanks, they're pretty choked in here, but of course that's where Adepts really shine. The Immortals also could have tried to run in and deal with them.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be all she wrote for Healer in game number 1. There's not a lot of coming back from this. GG.
Well, that was just a disrupted game plan from Healer. Been unfortunate, but good choice by MaNa not to play greedy on that map, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. Not going for that super fast third expansion, I think really, as you were saying, caught Healer off guard very much so. Where he was looking to maybe, as you were, I think you mentioned this before, like trying to cancel a third expansion, but then suddenly like, oh, actually, I have to just defend against like the big attack you're doing. And then MaNa just grabs the third expansion behind it while Healer is sitting back at home, barely not even mining because of all the Warp Prism harassment he suffered earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, so that, I mean, it wasn't exactly a counter build, but it did certainly help for MaNa.
Yeah.
Now, the rest of the round 8 is still waiting, actually. I mean, seriously, like, we're waiting about, like, 8-ish minutes, 10, I guess, with the ads before we started this round of 8 match, and we're still waiting on a bunch of people, and they're still going. Semper Live Could Snoot, that's a long series. Hellraiser Keen, that's a long series.
I'm looking forward to it, but we are going to be hopping into game number 2, and I'm going to just say, the longer that Hellraiser Keen goes on, the more excited I get, because, like, that means that he's not just, like, kilting over. He's not just, like, dying.
True.
But, alright, we'll see you guys in a little bit on Frozen Temple. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as we flash on that BaseTradeTV graph once again, we have spawning up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, sitting up 1-0 and ready to move on to the semifinals. Give it up for Liquid's MaNa.
In the bottom right, kind of, it is the Blue Terran Healer. He does have his engineering bay just actually almost done because his SCV scout was that damn early.
Yeah, gonna force out that early zealot, and it's again, I guess, just like about throwing an opponent off their normal game plan, forcing them to do those slight little rearrangements, and oh my god, this is just...
That's excessive. Well, there's one problem with doing this that Healer has to consider, and is that you're kind of poking the bear, you know? Like, some Protosses, some Zergs even, might just take the third base and be like, whatever, hopefully you don't, like, follow up. But, you know, MaNa's been cheesy in the past, and went for Proxy Stargate.
But yes and no, right? Because we don't have a standard follow-up over here from Healer. It's not a command center immediately popping down. He throws down a second barracks first.
Yeah.
So he's actually going to have more Marines than usual.
I definitely like that Healer did that, like, kept in mind that, like, if I just went for a command center, he'd probably try and counterattack me, maybe bring, like, a mothership core and do the pylon shenanigans, and maybe proxy a Stargate like he's doing, and then he'd be in a lot of trouble off of 1 barracks. He would still be in a bit of trouble off of 2 if MaNa could afford all those things. But it's still a position that MaNa does not, like, you know, it's probably like, was that really worth it? Because opening with a proxy Stargate is not unheard of. It's not, like, totally going to kill his income. And Healer, he still go for his command center in the main, so he's also actually turn an orbital, lift it down to the ground, and transfer workers for it to be super effective.
Yeah, and what's definitely worth saying is that his tech is going to be actually fairly far delayed, just because he's not going to have that ever so quick factory or starport coming out, so he's not going to have medevacs out. His tech labs aren't exactly going to be around for a while, because he has to use these barracks to make Marines. He needs some sort of defense against whatever could come out.
But his Marines are out of position!
What?
The Oracle just swoops in!
Okay, well, 5 workers killed, and now the Marines are getting picked off one by one. There are enough Marines around to deal with the Oracle or push it back, but this was supposed to be a follow-up that he kind of sacrificed his tech for to get up enough Marines to defend that. Oh.
Yeah. 5 SCVs is not devastating, but it's 5 more SCVs than he really should have got.
Yeah.
Maybe like 1 off the gas geyser, you know, because Oracle will do that, but that's unfortunate. MaNa now, of course, has Revelation and a bit of scouting. He does have his Nexus up, of which Healer scouts that. And you take a look at the income graphs, and MaNa is winning it. Healer never really had that much more income going for him, and of course, still doesn't because his command center's not on location.
Yeah. Well, at this point, Healer's got to do something. He's getting up combat shields before Stim, so it's gonna be really weird. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, especially if you're not gonna have medevacs out, so you can't really make use of like a drop that's just gonna be able to stim in, even with lower health Marines.
Yeah.
Well, Twilight Council comes down behind this for MaNa as he gets up his Immortals, probably going to be able to eventually get up a Warp Prism and just, I guess, continue to play this out as a pretty standard Protoss player. He has that Oracle still alive, and that's one of the things that makes this especially hard. Healer's clearly playing from a position where he's not sitting as comfortably as MaNa. He's sitting a little bit further down in economy, and he's going to have a really hard time hiding anything. Like, if he tries to go for a super fast third, if he tries to play a little bit too greedy, if he tries to go for something sneakier shenanigan-wise, it's going to get scouted by this Oracle.
Yeah, that Oracle is going to be really, really useful. And now MaNa is going to further complicate Healer's economic problems with the Dark Shrine. So even if the Dark Shrine doesn't actually get any SCV kills, it'll get scans, probably. Healer does have missile turrets in the naturals, but you know, you go after the tech lab, you go after the army, you defend with DTs. Like, either way, scans are going to be used. And that's something that Healer might not even be considering. Like, he might be muling every single time as fast as possible.
With all the Marines actually out of position right now, and since they don't exactly have stim, we'll hold that thought. Oh, good force fields actually. Gonna be able to trap in a lot of these Marines, and the Immortal may end up falling over here. No stutter step forward.
That actually looked like almost too many Marines to let through, but then you guys, you know, had to consider they didn't have stim. They did have combat shields, which is something, but obviously still not enough.
I mean, no stim, and you throw up a Guardian Shield, and it's like, wait a second, this is actually not gonna do anything.
Yeah, exactly. And now MaNa is going to be really well defended against any pushes through the middle because the pylons are finally set up. So no going up that ramp easily for Healer.
Well, third expansion is going to be well established for MaNa in just a little bit. No third expansion on the way for Healer. He's still just trying to saturate his natural expansion. Well, Stargate at least will be found. It's going to prevent additional oracles from being made if he ever kills off that one oracle. Did he kill off the oracle? Yeah, he did.
Nothing. Oh yeah, I guess he caught it in the mid somewhere. Well, oh well. That's actually a little annoying that MaNa can't just freely recreate one, but I think he's feeling pretty okay after defending against that push. Not desperate for scout information.
He has another form of scouting now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, besides observers, he's now got Dark Templars. I think Healer saw them, so he's moving.
He's not raising a supply depot though, and that's a bit of a problem. Oh man, if those CTs had gone like 5 to 10 seconds earlier, if they had been out and they had right-clicked down, I think they may have even been able to get a combat or a stim.
Maybe. Well, time's lost. This looks very awkward if Healer's paying attention. There we go.
The DTs are just like chilling around for like a solid like 30 seconds. Like, what do we do? What do we do?
This is one of the more awkward DTs I've ever seen. Usually they like one runs away and is like bye, and the other one dies, or they get stuck in a little corner somewhere. But that really wasn't that bad. And Healer gets he gets 2 DTs and 1 observer in a single scan, which is not ideal at all for MaNa. But MaNa's on 3 bases. He's got a decent army. He's about to have upgrades. Like, great that Healer's able to not take any further damage from the beginning, but he's still not in a great position at all.
Yeah, Probe on the right-hand side of the map does spot out the army that was moving around from Healer. But wow, MaNa, I guess he must have seen something else, because he picks off both of the medevacs with most of the Marines inside. Really good trades.
Oh my God.
That was
I kind of forgot that they took away the Xel'Nagas in the middle of the map. Like, how long has that been? Like,
that was just, I don't even know how MaNa actually knew that was there, because he sees the probe, and I guess just gut intuition says, like, oh yeah, now that my opponent sees that I've scouted him, he's gonna go down the center. I'm gonna go catch him off guard. Like,
it might be. Yeah. Well, this is not a very dedicated attack from MaNa, but it is one that is cleanly, like, severing a lot of, pretty important units. He actually gets any Marauders on the other side of those force fields. The Immortals chunk through those, no problem.
Oh, Adept's also killing off a couple of workers as they focus fire him down. But I mean, really, the damage that's actually being done here is stopping Healer from actually getting up a third, and also preventing the army from massing up to a large enough number that he can just charge across the map on a 2-base, like, all in. Oh, gonna be able to kill off these Widow Mines too. Those Widow Mines,
man,
they can be playmakers.
Yeah, they absolutely can, especially against those Adepts. But also worried about the medevacs. Those Stalkers could try and focus fire them. Bring around the Rosies being played here, trying to target fire the Immortals, then goes for the Stalkers. Working out so badly, but okay, just listen.
No Stalkers left. Mission successful. Now my Liberators will be ultra effective. Except I don't have a full wall, so I can't prevent these adepts from just going into my mineral line.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, healer, he had like 2 chances to do some serious damage, and they both got shut down so easily. The first 2 dropped, and then that push. He's got another 2 drops going over to the right side, but there's army back at home for MaNa.
Adept also scouts that out, so yeah, he's gonna be fully aware of it. I'm almost just worried. Yeah, MaNa's trying to play that sort of a super smart, like, oh, he knows that I saw his medevacs with the adepts, so now I'm gonna try and charge in and snipe it off. Well, he doesn't find it initially, but he does eventually find it and kills both of them off.
Well, healer's still hanging on, but once again, just not having any luck here.
Yeah.
There's another army of Protoss. Trying to go up to the middle, but we do have not a Zelnaga, but still that same probe and now a pylon, interesting enough, scouting that. So,
yeah.
Just get back into position and MaNa should be okay to hold. It's still pretty close army supply, and the upgrades are even, but there's still Photon Overcharge.
Yeah, Photon Overcharge is going to make this really hard. Liberator number 1 also gets immediately focus fire down. The Immortal is just out of range of that Liberator as well, so going to be able to survive throughout that fight. And I feel like, yeah, that whatever army supply lead or equivalence that healer had, it's starting to dwindle very, very quickly.
I think that's going to be it for our, what do you want to call him? Our BaseTradeTV hope, because of course Eki did get defeated by Tails on the other side of the bracket.
Hellraiser's still in it though. He's still in it.
Yeah, okay, so Hellraiser's like a big question mark, right? But Semper Snoot we were talking about, and we both agreed that Semper just really wasn't looking that hot, and Snoot, you know, is so hot right now. So like, why is that taking so long? Is Semper just on fire today, or is Snoot just sick, or? You know,
maybe it's just that Semper hasn't been playing super well in like TvT and TvP, but his TvZ is still just super on fire. I don't know. It is a matchup that really does reward a lot of drop harassment, but this is a foregone conclusion at this point. Healer is basically waiting to see like how many hits his SCVs can soak up and how many Immortals he can kill before he goes out.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually, I think he's gonna win this engagement.
3. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Still at half the supply of MaNa. Still a bigger army supply for MaNa too. He's been reinforcing back at home. Healer, he could try and counterattack right now and do something, but still at a disadvantage in army. Wow. Translover is 3rd. There's a lot of mules on that.
That's not his 3rd. That's his main base.
Oh, sorry. Translover to his 3rd, his main base.
Yeah, so it doesn't have the advantage that you'd normally have as a 3-base Terran player with the triple mules. So, well, you know, okay, you know what? At this point, I'm not gonna count healer. I should count healer out at this point. But medevac drops if MaNa just gets out of position. Actually, no. It's not even like one of those situations where a Protoss can be like, oh, I'm supply blocked right now and I can't warp in any units at home while I'm out on the other side of the map. This went to a really awkward base trade. Like, no, MaNa has 50, 60 supplies still left over that he can warp in right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the production alone will be able to take care of any potential base trade scenarios. And once again, just kind of rushing in, not with a war prism, you know, that you'd usually want to have before taking a fight, but just figuring he has enough army. Yeah. And he does.
Yeah, drop on the other side of the map, gets halfway cleaned up. The medevac still has 4 Marines left over, but Photon Overcharge is going to be able to easily take care of all of those guys.
Yep. I guess as the game finishes, thanks to Non-Mint for the 5-month resub and Farfik Mugen for the 5-month resub.
Oh boy.
Good stuff.
Thank you very much.
Finishing up.
These 3 Marines, like, Healer is not giving up. He's not surrendering.
No, he is not. Finally, these Marines are gonna die, right? The depths, pay attention. Come on now.
I'm just imagining.
Supply. There we go.
GG. I was just imagining like Healer goes back into his main base, throws down like 8 bunkers with the remaining minerals he has, and tries to hold off.
Oh god. He's okay. Yeah, he might have been thinking about that, but does tap out, and that'll send him out of the tournament and MaNa on to the semifinals. But you know, we're still waiting on 2 other round of 8 matches to even begin. Like what is happening?
Let's have a grab. We're gonna hop to a short little break in just a second as we wait around to see what the next match is. Like we could maybe see if we could hop into like Block versus Tails, like mid-series or something. But I really just want to know if Hellraiser beats Keen, like, I don't care what other matches are happening. I want to watch Hellraiser versus Hydra.
Yeah. That'll be a shocker if Keen actually goes down. We'll see.
Right. But anyways, we're gonna be hopping to a short little break. So guys, don't go anywhere. You guys are watching the Corsair Cup. I think number 30. Or no, sorry, 24. Number 24.